Kilarigbo TV, ìkànnì amúlùdún àkọ́kọ́ tó ń gbé àṣà àti ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ Yorùbá lárugẹ.
The planned protest scheduled for August 1st, 2024 across the country. We have been monitoring developments surrounding protest threats. While some groups call for violent protests, emulating Kenya's recent events, others advocate for peaceful demonstrations. However, some individuals promote peaceful protest with violent undertones, raising concerns about their sincerity. We have our own history of violent protests in Nigeria, and I don't believe we have to look to other countries to note the dangers of unchecked demonstrations. We commend patriots who have withdrawn from the protest due to the apparent sinister motives and ignorance of those calling for violence. We note those who have spoken out against any form of protest at this critical juncture, fearing enemies of our country may be manipulating the process. We confirm their fears are genuine, as we have credible intelligence on foreign mercenaries' involvement in this planned protest. The Nigerian police urge all Nigerians to exercise caution and think twice before joining any protest group. While we alert citizens to the sinister motives of certain groups planning to wreak havoc, it has become clear that even a peaceful protest at this time may be ill-timed. We issue a stern warning to clandestine groups plotting to destabilize the country and hoodlums seeking to exploit protests for their criminal agendas. We will not tolerate the killing of innocent citizens, destruction of public infrastructure and private property, or looting of private businesses. We acknowledge the constitutional right of Nigerian citizens to peaceful assembly and protest. However, in the interest of public safety and order, we urge all groups planning to protest to provide necessary details to the Commissioner of Police in the state where protest is intended to take place. To facilitate a successful and incident-free protest, they should please provide the following information. 1. Proposed protest routes and assembly points. 2. Expected duration of the protest. 3. Names and contact details of protest leaders and organizers. 4. Measures to prevent hijacking by criminal elements, including key identifiers for possible isolation of potential troublemakers. By providing this information, the police will be enabled to deploy adequate personnel and resources to ensure public safety, designate specific routes and areas for the protest to avoid conflicts with other events or activities, establish clear communication channels with protest leaders to address any concerns or issues that may arise, minimize the risk of violence, property damage, or other criminal activity. We encourage all protesters to cooperate with the police, obey the law, and adhere to global best practices for peaceful assembly to guarantee a safe and successful exercise of their rights. We are committed to working with all Nigerians to promote peaceful expression and maintain public order. Thank you for your understanding and cooperation. May the God of all creations help us to build our nation.
When there are crises, there are little that we can achieve. But in situation of peace, in the environment that is peaceful, a lot can be achieved. As we are all seated here, we are all citizens of Nigeria. We are all residing in Lagos. We are citizens in uniform. You are citizens that are not in uniform. But the common objective of all of us is that Nigeria belongs to us. And we are all here in Lagos to carry out our means of livelihood, either as traders or workers of government. And as a result of this, it is incumbent on all of us to ensure that we make our society peaceful. We are all aware it is the current situation of things is affecting everybody. Some of these things are the issues that are global in nature. As the Commissioner of Police earlier said, the COVID experience that we had, which is still ravaging the world, because the effect of the COVID, we are also feeling it across the whole world. The one in the Ukraine and Russia war is also having effect on us, because we know the strategic position this nation has in the global economy. The problem of Palestine and Israel is also having effect on what we are doing here. The last NSAS protest, the effect on Lagos, we are still feeling it today. So if we allow another event that will further create problem for us to happen, it will elongate the period of our suffering in this country, and particularly in Lagos. So as a result of that, as we are all citizens of this country, and we're all residing in Lagos here, we want to appeal to all of us, because you are all opinion leaders. You all have constituency where you have people that you influence. We want you to please appeal to them to be patient with the government, because a lot of measures have been taken. You know, in a sick society, every step to health is always an insult to those who live on the sickness. We have been having problems in this country, and effort has been made to ensure that we heal the suffering that we have been experiencing in the past. But we just need more patience from the people. You know, the process of having a baby is very sweet. The beginning is very, very sweet. Then carrying the baby may be a little bit difficult. Then the period of delivery will be more painful. But what happens afterwards? It becomes very, very sweet, and everybody will be celebrating. I believe that we are very close to the period of celebration of getting out of the problems we are having in this country. And your support will go a long way in ensuring that we, at the end of the day, enjoy the dividend of this our suffering. So please, I want to appeal to us to talk to people in your various groups so that they become more patient. Because if this protest starts, hoodlums are there to take advantage of the situation and create additional problems for us. The experience of the NSAS, where several buses for the BRT were burnt down, is still very fresh in our memory. And these things are to serve the people. Yet, a lot of these things were destroyed. So I want to appeal to us to please talk to our people, particularly the youth, to be patient with the government. They have already heard their views, and it has been very clear and loud. An authority is already taking...
However, I will start by saying, build the youths. Build the youths. I wear a very sensitive cap because I'm representing a generation that is going through several changes. Sometimes we are called the Sorosoke generation. Sometimes it is a generation of I cannot come and kill myself. However, it is a generation that represents the barest minimum of 60% of the population in Lagos. When we look at the population in Lagos, we say Lagos has approximately about 29 to 30 million citizens or residents of Lagos. And if we're talking about 60%, it means the population of the youths in Lagos would be in the region plus or minus 18 or 19 million. So it is a generation that is very sensitive. Whilst that is being recognized, by the time we look at the caliber of the people in this hall, it has a lot. It is a big statement. A statement in the sense that we're all gathered here today. we have left our various responsibilities to come together to address a situation. I want to believe that the quote and unquote faceless protesters, by the time they see the caliber and representative of the people in this hall, it will send a strong message and signal. Two conversations that I have been having over the last 1 week. Very simply, one, the right to protest or not. Yes, as citizens, everybody has a right to protest. However, when the protest cannot be controlled, or when the protest we cannot identify those behind the protest, then it becomes a problem. It is no longer a protest. That's one of the conversations I've been having. The second one, which is also very interesting, is the conversation surrounding the youths. When people are talking about protest, it's always centered around the youths. Some group of youths continue to say, well, everybody is facing economic hardship, not only the youths. But when they are talking about, when protests are being spoken about, it is always centered around the youths. Well, my simple response is we make up a larger number of the population, so it would always be centered around us. However, we believe the protest is across board because the economic hardship is not only to the youth, but is across the entire citizens of the country. And I'm also glad that we're all being proactive as opposed to being reactive, which goes to show that every single stakeholder in this room has decided to take responsibility of what is coming ahead, irrespective of the outcome. Again, like I said previously, I am sure the quote and unquote faceless protesters are already aware that everybody is taking responsibility, everybody is taking ownership, everybody is rising to the occasion, because this is our Lagos. Lagos is our home. We cannot afford for anything to happen to our home, which is the reason why we have all gathered here to ensure that the necessary steps are taken by each and every one of us to ensure that we remain peaceful. United we stand, divided we fall. When we come together as a people to sit down to face issues like this, then we can be ensured that there will definitely be peace at the end of the day. Over the last couple of days, a lot has been done. The chairmen have all come together in each of our 57 local governments and LCDAs to come together collectively to address this issue. That is a statement on its own. If all of the chairmen in each of the local governments can come together, it means in each local government, everyone has taken responsibility and they would assure that they keep their homes safe. That is a signal on its own. Several youth groups have come together to issue statements about this upcoming protest. Several religious bodies have done the same. I think the message is clear and the signal is clear that we are standing as one people to ensure that we keep our Lagos and our Nigeria safe. So I commend each and every one of us that have taken those steps, and for those who are yet to take those steps, we will encourage you to please do that, because when anything goes wrong, it affects each and every one of us, irrespective of whatever it is that we are building. We all seen what has happened in Kenya recently. Everybody has come out at the aftermath to realize what has happened. You see, when this thing happens, it happens like a snowball, and the ripple effects is very, 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 very high. And we would ensure, and we will try, we will plead, we will ask, we will beg to ensure that we keep our Lagos and our Nigeria safe. The administration under our Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, has vowed not to leave anyone behind. The government cannot do it alone. The private individuals as well cannot do it alone, which is why we continue to call everyone together as stakeholders so that we can continue to collaborate just as we are doing today. Just for record purposes, the government under the administration of our governor has done a lot, even for the youths. I will reel out some, just for the purpose of this conversation, because I know several youths, seeing me standing here holding the microphone within the stakeholders, are gluing in to hear what it is that I have to say. A lot of times, a lot of people don't have information, so they don't even really know what is available out there. I will start with myself and what we are currently doing in the Ministry of Youth and Social Development. In partnership with Wema Bank and a company called GFA Technologies, we have come together to foster a collaboration where we are looking to empower 1 million youths. 1 million youths free. That is the challenge they gave me. Give us 1 million youths in Lagos State. GFA Technologies has the partnerships with all these foreign companies. Wema Bank has agreed to sponsor 75%. Our governor has sponsored the remaining 25%. That is one of the ways we are tackling employment. Because we know not everybody is going to be able to go into an office and wear a tie and go to the office. We know it's a digital space, it's a digital era. So that is one of the ways, one of the initiatives that is currently going on under my ministry that I am championing. In the transportation sector, over 1,800 jobs have been generated through the Lagos Bus Service Limited. Over 1,000 direct and indirect jobs have been created for youths through the operation of the Lagos Blue Line Rail. Hundreds are being trained for jobs on the Red Line. Over 1,000 jobs have been created through the Lagride Smart Taxi Scheme. 2,866 job opportunities for young drivers who graduated from LBSL, accredited through Trading Academy. That is just in the transportation sector. In the health, over 2,200 healthcare professionals, mostly youth, were recruited into the state public health facilities. That is health. Education, over 3,000 fresh graduate teachers recruited, mostly youths. Over a million approved as registration fees and other sundry costs for 58,188 SS3 students writing the WAEC certification exam. About 2,085 students completed technical education, and 85% of the graduates are now self-employed. Agriculture, in recent times, we have all heard about the palliatives that the governor, as well as all of the local government chairmen, have infused into the system. In most of the local governments, a lot of the local government chairmen have taken initiatives to see how they can subsidize food in each of these local governments. So there are so many interventions going on. There are so many of these programs that are going on. And it is always important to reel it out when the opportunity arises. And just like now, which is why I've taken advantage of it, to mention a few of what the administration is doing. This is only in Lagos. Of course, on the national level, our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, rolling out a lot of incentives and programs to ensure that the citizens of Nigeria do not continue to face this hardship. But we all know there is always a period we have to go through before the light at the end of the tunnel. In summary, just like everyone has said, and we will continue to say, we do not want any destructions in Lagos. The youths are a large population of the citizens in Lagos. We are well represented, we are well being catered for. We will continue in different segments, continue to work with all of the critical stakeholders to ensure that our Lagos continues to be safe. Igbega, Ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, Ajomashe, gbogbo wa ni. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Commodore 2 has spoken, but the import of their speech centered on protest. And in the last 2 weeks or more, what has been at the bottom point, what everybody has been discussing, that is causing a lot of apprehension, a lot of anxiety, is about protest. Protest and protest. But CP said, and just like the Cross Commander too, everybody has the right to protest. We can express our displeasure, and that's what makes society to function well. We can criticize government. We can criticize establishment. But the question is, fine, we said we're going to have a peaceful protest. The question is, how peaceful can it be? And that is what we should all be asking ourselves. If a start, are we going to be able to control it? That's a question we should also be asking ourselves. We all remember what happened during the NSAS. And we know that at some point, even when people were willing that this thing should stop, of course, it went overboard. And today, government at all levels Lagos State particularly still struggling to get out of the loss incurred during this protest. We can see the efforts of government at all levels. The president has just come out to appeal to the youth, to please give government more time. Government is rolling out projects, policies that could, eliminate the high cost of living. We know that. But good things don't come easy. And that is while, and that is, when and how, our patience, comes in. The point and the concern here is that Lagos remains the epicenter. And if we allow this to happen and it gets out of hand, I can assure you that right from the first day, of course, it might consume the entire zones. And that's how it's going to spread across the nation. And that is why we keep appealing to us. Everybody is here. Everybody is well represented here. The traditional rulers are here. The union leaders are here. I can see the TUC, the NSC, the local government security, the local government chairmen are here. So it's like everybody is well represented. And that is what informed this meeting, that we want us to go back and appeal to our youths, our followers, our congregations, that at this point in time, we should be patient and give government enough time. Enough time. We don't want another NSAS. We don't want killing in Lagos. And again, we should also remember that for whatever adverse things that is done, it is still going to be our money, our taxes, that is going to be used to fix all of these things. But by and large, we think we need a very conducive environment for our businesses to thrive, for students to go to school. And we will, at this point, be appealing to everybody. It is not only the duty of the security agents here, but a collective responsibility of all of us to go back and say, no, let's give government time. And that is my...
Kilarigbo TV, ìkànnì amúlùdún àkọ́kọ́ tó ń gbé àṣà àti ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ Yorùbá lárugẹ.